Hey, Lee Robinson here at American Sentinel K9 with Madison Parker from Bulletproof Kennels. We're going to do a quick yard tour and he'll tell us about each of his dogs.
Okay, yeah. Starting here, this is on the left side of the yard. Right here we got Sadie. She's sired by a dog named Slippin' Jimmy, which is the old Randy Lotta blood. And then the bottom side of that is my Boots the Blacksmith bitch, who is more Randy Lotta. So she's almost, well, she's probably about 3/4 Sarles and a quarter Patrick and Indian Sunny.
Yeah, and she's a little overweight because I just brought her back from having a litter.
Yeah, she just had a litter, so.
Yep.
Now this is Cudgel. We've tested him pretty hard on a hog. We've caught one hog with this guy. He showed himself to be very, very capable of catching hogs. And now he is sired by my Chunk dog out of a bitch named Pinto Bean that I don't own anymore. She was the old Zia Den blood. That's Randy Lotta's Irene, the old Irene stuff, Irene blood, which my Boots the Blacksmith bitch is out of. So it's the old Irene stuff is old Sarles, the old Hard Eyes. Let's go this way.
Okay.
Hard Eyes and Uncle Bud is what it is. It goes back to Hard Eyes and Uncle Bud. So. Now this is Minnie the Moocher. Her heat cycles are not that great, but she's a fine bitch and she works really, really good.
Say that again because they're not going to hear you.
Her heat cycles are kind of not that great.
Yep.
But I haven't had any success breeding her, but I will. I'll stick with it.
What's her name? Minnie the Moocher?
Minnie the Moocher. She's sired by Chunk out of Boots the Blacksmith.
Chunk and Boots the Blacksmith.
Yep.
Okay.
And all three of these, they're littermate
Littermate brothers and sisters. This has got to be Uncle Chunk.
His name is Uncle Chunk. He's sired by Chunk out of Boots. Caught 2 hogs with him.
Yep.
And he's had some heavy run-ins because the hogs he got on were very, very strong and challenging hogs. And then this is Miss Biscuit right here, and she's a little sister to Uncle Chunk and Minnie the Moocher. So I keep these 3 right here. These are all 3, Chunk and Boots the Blacksmith. She's had a litter now. I've got a litter. I sold all the pups out of her, but I got a couple of friends that got them, so I've got access to the pups. But this fine little bitch, she's had 1 litter.
What's her name?
Her name is Miss Biscuit.
Miss Biscuit. Okay.
So this is my Chunk dog.
This is Chunk.
Yep.
Not to be confused with Uncle Chunk.
No, this is the sire to Uncle Chunk.
Yeah, sire to Uncle Chunk.
Yeah. And this is some of the old school, some of the best of the old Carver / Sarles. It's heavy, heavy Black Widow. In my opinion, probably one of the greatest bitches that ever lived. And she would have to be compared with Miss Spike. But Black Widow is the foundation behind everything. So,
all right, so
that Miss Spike blood, the old Greenwood and Sarles, which goes back to the heavy Carver. Really going back to the old Carver's Black Widow, Carver's Miss Spike, Boomerang, Sarles Bull. Yeah, that probably kind of rounds it out.
I remember there being
Maloney's Davis in there.
I remember there being
Real heavy.
Sorrels and Greenwood and Patrick and Maloney.
That's right, those 4.
Yep.
But heavy Carver too, because you can't say those 4 without saying Carver.
Right, because of the Black Widow bitch.
Yeah. This is Jenny Diver right here. And she is sired by Uncle Chunk out of my Baby Red bitch. So she's heavy Chunk. Okay, Baby Red is sired by father-daughter by Chunk. And then we took Uncle Chunk over the top of her. So she's an inbred daughter of Chunk, and we bred her to a son of Chunk. So this bitch is 3 times on my Chunk dog.
All right.
He's my seed. She is my seed dog for Chunk.
Gotcha. So her mother was 2 times Chunk, and then it was taken back to Chunk.
Exactly. It's a half brother sister.
Gotcha.
But it's starting from a inbred foundation.
Gotcha.
Of chunk.
This is Bandito.
That's Bandito.
I recognize Bandito.
I'm pulling him right now. I'm getting his weight down. And I think he's going to wind up at about 37 or 38 pounds. And he's sired by chunk out of Boots also. That's out of the second breeding. But he's a fine one right there. He'll be coming out this winter. We'll be going out with him. We'll be hunting hogs with him. Charles. Anyway, he's acting good. This is King. He's sired by Chunk and out of Sadie. And he's a young prospect. I don't know, if he's going to do anything or not. He's still young. He's not quite 2 years old. We'll see. And this is a litter brother to Jenny Diver over there. It's a 3 times Chunk male. And I call him Willie, or Wilson. His name's Wilson, but I nicknamed him Willie. He's a fine animal, buddy. I tell you what, he's in every way acting good, doing everything that I would expect to see out of a good pit bull. But he's the triple bred Chunk is what he is.
Gotcha.
And then we're going over here to Baby Red. Hey, Baby Red. Baby Red, come on, baby. This is Baby Red. She is a pure inbred daughter. Okay, what we did is we bred Chunk to a friend of mine's heavy red boy female. Okay, so it was a full cross. We took a daughter out of that named Allie and bred her back to their daddy Chunk to make this bitch. So she's an inbred daughter of Chunk. And I bred her again to a pure snooty male. And if she's going to have them, it'll be the end of this month. I don't know if she'll have them or not. So. And then the rest of my dogs are split up between 2 different guys. One guy up in Pennsylvania and another guy right here in Florida. So they're feeding 2 or 3 each.
Yep.
Of my blood.
Yep.
Started by a dog named Thriller and out of a bitch named Irene.
Okay.
Came from the Randy Lotta Kennels.
All right.
Thriller is basically Patrick and Sarles. Sarles being Hard Eyes and Uncle Bud. And then her bottom side is pure Irene. That's pure Hard Eyes and Uncle Bud. So it's Sarles and Patrick with a little bit of Indian Sunny in there.
All right, so here's Madison showing some of his hunting spears.
Hog hunting spears. These are all hand forged, by the way. I made every one of these with a hammer and anvil and fire. And so this is what we use when we go into the hog. That way you can have a standoff when you're fixing the, when the dog has the hog, you can get the hog, behind the shoulder or up under his armpit and jab him with that. That'll stop him every time, right now. I mean, just within a minute, it'll have him stopped. So that's where we go hog hunting with these dogs.